This documentary is based on real joint military training experiences, pilot testimonies, and historical context. Some dialogue is reconstructed for storytelling clarity. No classified or sensitive information is disclosed. This film respects all armed forces involved. The morning sun rises slowly over an airfield in the Philippines. The air is heavy, warm, familiar. Ground crew members walk across the tarmac with quiet confidence, their movements practiced, almost instinctive. Helicopters sit still for now, but the day's work has already begun. For decades, Filipino pilots have flown in conditions many air forces rarely face. Typhoons that erase the horizon, mountain rescues where engines struggle for breath, jungle operations where weather changes without warning. These pilots are not trained for comfort. They are trained for survival. Yet during a joint military engagement, in a closed setting away from cameras and press releases, a statement was made that would linger quietly in the background. They don't have the background to fly the Apache. It wasn't meant as an insult. It wasn't spoken with malice. It was said matter-of-factly, rooted in assumptions about technology, exposure, and experience. The Apache helicopter is not ordinary. It is one of the most advanced attack helicopters in the world. Systems heavy, digitally complex, designed for precision warfare. The concern, at least on paper, was understandable. But what that statement failed to account for was the kind of flying Filipino pilots have done for generations. Not parade flying, not demonstration flying, but flying where mistakes cost lives. The Philippine Air Force has never claimed to be the most advanced or best funded. What it has always relied on is adaptability. Filipino pilots are trained to think on their feet, to make decisions when instruments fail, when communication drops, when conditions turn hostile without warning. When conversations began around familiarization and evaluation involving the Apache platform, skepticism quietly followed. Some believed Filipino pilots lacked sufficient exposure to such a sophisticated aircraft. Others assumed the transition would be slow, difficult, perhaps unsuccessful. One joint training officer later admitted that the doubt was not about nationality, but about background. The Apache demands deep systems knowledge, glass cockpits, advanced targeting sensors, weapons integration, crew coordination at a level that leaves no room for error. The assumption was simple. Good pilots, yes, but Apache-level pilots? The Filipino pilots who entered training did not argue. They did not protest. They listened. One of them later recalled his first time standing beside the Apache. He said he did not feel fear. He felt respect. Respect for a machine that demands discipline, focus, and humility. He also knew something else. Flying into storms over open ocean humbles you. Flying rescue missions where radios fail humbles you. Landing in places where maps offer no help humbles you even more. Training began quietly. Simulators, checklists, emergency procedures, night vision operations, long briefings followed by longer silences. Apache instructors watched carefully, taking notes, observing reactions, studying how the pilots thought rather than how they spoke. Mistakes happened. They were expected. What surprised instructors was how quickly corrections followed. Filipino pilots absorbed systems logic rapidly. They asked precise questions. They adjusted without ego. One instructor later remarked, almost to himself, "They learn fast, really fast." The turning point did not come with drama or celebration. It came during evaluation flights, precision hovering. correct prioritization of systems, calm, steady communication under simulated threat conditions, not flawless, but professional. And professionalism is exactly what the Apache demands. There was no applause when it became clear, no announcement, no press conference, just a noticeable change in tone. Silence. The kind of silence that follows when assumptions collapse. A senior officer later admitted that the mistake was not underestimating capability, but underestimating adaptability. Once exposure was equalized, performance spoke clearly. This was never about proving anyone wrong. It was about proving something quietly true. That competence does not require wealth. That mastery does not depend on accent. That discipline is not owned by any one nation. When given opportunity, Filipino pilots do not need hype. They let results speak. As the sun sets, rotor blades slow. Ground crew signal shutdown. Another day ends without headlines. Some victories do not make the news. They settle into mutual respect. And sometimes, that respect is the loudest statement of all. Skill knows no nationality.